What's up guys, Bloodshed here. Today we're going to talk about the Wizard starter build for Diablo 3 patch 2.5 in season 10. Now this video is a lot different than my other videos. This is going to cover the 4-piece DMO, the 6-piece DMO, and then eventually a speed build for DMO to help you out. DMO is really annoying of a set to get early, so this is trying to help alleviate a lot of the problems with the set. If anything, hopefully it inspires you to make your own build or something along the lines. Eventually, you might want to build into a Telvir setup or an Explosive Blast setup. I'll link all the different builds in the description down below. Alright, coming up first is the 4-piece DMO starter build. Now this is just with your 4-piece Hadrix to get your GR20 clear done. DMO is a little bit tricky as you don't get any damage bonuses from your 4-piece or your 2-piece set bonus, but you do get a 60% damage reduction as long as you have a slow time bubble active. They did change it a few seasons ago. You don't have to be inside the bubble to get the damage reduction. I went with all intelligence gems in the sockets. Even in the helmet, we did a RCR gem. This is all crafted gear plus the 4-piece bonus. Nothing beneficial in the cube, of course. No Paragon were used in the making of this video. And yeah, I mean, we pretty much handled that 20 no problem. If you can squeeze disintegrate damage on your boots or helmet, that does help a lot too, but I didn't even have it on there, so you'll probably do even more damage than I did. Arcane damage, if you can swing it. You want to focus on crit damage, main stat, and vitality. Just the raw basic stats, just to be able to power through the rift. You can see I have 532 damage. It's literally just from getting double crit everywhere. Look at my amulet, only has 58 crit damage, so just getting double crit everywhere helps tremendously. Even if it's not max crit, as you can see, this is a 28% roll, this is a 58% roll. Here's the build. Copy and paste it, screenshot it. I'm also going to have a Diablo fans link down in the description. This is the 4-piece bonus. Copy paste it, blast your 4-piece, and enjoy the free clear. Okay, so once you get your final 2 pieces from clearing your Greater Rift 20, you're going to have 6 pieces of DMO and possibly no other legendaries, possibly no other gear. So what would you do in this situation? This is why we made this build in particular. Okay, so as you can see, we have the 6-piece bonus. Once you do get that, you get 3,500% increased damage for enemies inside of your slow time bubble. It does crazy amounts of damage. Again, this is all the same gear from our previous character. So this is like simulating whatever, and I still have the fire damage. So this time fire damage is going to benefit us. We're focusing on flame blades and explosive blasts and things like that. So if you can swing it, explosive blast on your shoulders, explosive blast on your chest piece, spectral blade on your belt. It's really cheap to re-roll yellow crafted gear, but it's a little bit more expensive. It does cost DBs for legendary gear. So don't go crazy on rolling your legendaries. Maybe 1 or 2 rolls if you can swing it, but yeah, don't go overboard. But with the yellow gear, as long as you have the gold, you can re-roll for only 2 crafting materials per. As far as weapons, I crafted a dagger. Daggers have crazy attack speed, but if you have a legendary weapon with good rolls, feel free to use that, especially if it has a socket already. Save yourself the materials wherever you can swing it. But if you're unlucky with weapons, use a dagger. You're going to be attacking really fast. Your offhand, if you get explosive blast damage or spectral blade damage, is a plus, but I didn't get it, so I just left it as is. I just rolled some main stat. You always want to make sure you have main stat, crit, vitality, and you know, fire damage, just like we were talking about last time. Just raw damage abilities. It's really king early on. Again, no Paragon in the clear of the video, no beneficial items in the cube. So the build itself, you can probably see from the gameplay footage, but you're gonna drop slow time, you're gonna group up enemies, the black hole, just like before, and you're gonna wall up on people with spectral blade, and that's pretty much it. You can spam explosive blast whenever you see elites. You pretty much only need it for elites. Whenever you have arcane power, you should be good because you're using a generator to generate arcane power, so you can spam arcane blast to your liking. Whenever I think I'm about to take a lot of direct damage, I'll use diamond skin. So diamond skin is far superior in my opinion this early on, jumping in T6 and T7 right away, because it does pretty much make you immune. I use the crystal shell rune, and that gives you absorbing up to 80% of your life in damage from incoming attacks. It's really powerful, and I find it to be the most effective. I don't take that much damage when you're grouping them up with black hole and you're attacking. They're not really hitting you. When you're dropping slow time and attacking them, they're all moving slowly. You're not really taking damage. And by the time you're about to take damage, you drop diamond skin and you're invincible pretty much. So I really like diamond skin, but again, you can use crystal armor or force armor, whatever you decide to choose. Let's take a closer look at the build. Black hole spell steel to grip up the enemies. Spectral blades, flame blades. It's really, really strong. Teleport, safe passage. Explosive blast, chain reaction. Diamond skin, crystal shell, slow time, time warp, and then illusionist, audacity, evocation, and conflag. Screenshot the build, but I'll probably have a Diablo fans link down in the description for this build as well, just as a very, very starter 6-piece build, bare bones. Playing with Spectral Blade as a main damage ability is a lot of fun, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Alright guys, let's talk about the speed version of the DMO build. The speed version of the DMO build is basically an in-between build. So you're going to use what I'm about to show you until you get your Tal'Vir set up, until you get your Explosive Blast set up, or whatever speed version you decide to go with. Now, drops do vary depending on person. So if you get an Unstable Scepter, you might want to focus on Arcane Orb. Another combo that makes sense together is Explosive Blast and the Orb of Infinite Depth. They both buff Explosive Blast. So depending on your drops, you might be using these two together, you might be using these two together, or in my case, I'm using the Twister Sword and the Edge Sigil together. So there's lots of different combos, and really it just depends on what RNG gods give you with your 6-piece. Eventually you're going to move on anyway, but hopefully this gets you to where you need to go. With all the testing, we used really shitty gear like rank 50 gems. Yeah, all non-ancient gear, and I capped myself at, I think, 400 Paragon. So it kind of shows you that in-between area that we're going to shoot for. In the cube, I'm running Ingeom, Parthens, and Halo. So basically, you want to keep your ice armor up, you want to keep your magic weapon force armor up, and you're going to drop slow time on the enemy. You're going to hold down disintegrate, and it's going to group all the enemies around together, and they're going to be inside the bubble. And that's pretty much it. If you need a little bit of survivability, make sure you keep safe passage up every 5 seconds. That way you take a 25% less damage. You should be okay because we're using ice armor and Parthens. That's a lot of survivability. You can use Aquila Cuirass, just make sure you don't drop below the arcane power, so maybe you just let it naturally come out. Here's the build specifically. Energy Twister Raging Storm was what I decided to go with, but you can use Wicked Wind. Wicked Wind, the Twister stays in place, so it's really cool because wherever you put it, the Twisters are going to stay here and they're not going to wander around like crazy. And you can really focus on the mobs a little bit more that way. I didn't really find a big damage difference between the two, but in the video I went with Raging Storm. When they combine, they do a lot of damage. Okay, so Disintegrate, I went with Intensify. Enemies hit by Disintegrate take 15% increased damage from Arcane. So our Twister's Arcane, it works perfectly. Force Weapon is going to give us 20% more damage. Teleport gives us damage reduction, which we talked about. Slow time, I went with the increased damage one. Crystallize, it gives us a stacking armor increase up to 60% armor. Illusionist, Audacity, Evocation, and Unwavering Will. All this build very much synergizes together, and it's kind of a fun build to play. This is why I chose to go with this one over like an Explosive Blast setup or anything else. This build is kind of fun, feels unique to play, and yeah, you can see by the gameplay and everything like that, it's pretty chill. So again, this is just an in-between build. I hope it helps you out. Big shout out to my patrons out there. Thank you for making this possible. Thank you for supporting my work. Thank you Twitch subs and all you guys. Do what you do to help me every day. Thank you so much. Anyone that's ever liked my videos, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much, man. I can't say it enough. Anyways, make sure to follow me at twitch.tv/bloodshed. We stream Diablo 6 days a week, getting ready for Season 10. I might be messing around, doing some random things, playing a little bit of this and that, doing some set dungeons. But this is the Bloodshed. Until the next video, peace.